Who doesn't love a good genre mashup? And whilst Eternal Return is not the first time I've seen a MOBA based battle royale, it is the first one I've seen that's free, and I like that price point. Checking out to see whether this game is worth your time in a very crowded gaming space. Let's get into it. 18 players drop into this world playing either as a solo or as a duo or in a squad, with the sole purpose of being the last one alive. It's the very definition of a battle royale. Though rather than using a first-person shooter mechanic, or just simply 99 people playing Tetris, in Eternal Return prepare your right mouse button for some serious clicking. Anyone who has played Dota or League of Legends are going to feel pretty at home with some of the simple mechanics, although the looting and crafting based systems are definitely going to take some time to get used to, so prepare for that classic learning curve. The map on which you drop into is split into different areas that contain different items. You have places like the beach, you have places like the chapel, and your characters will say some interesting, unique things as you walk into those areas. There are recommended build paths to make your time a bit easier, but there is no function of buying anything in Eternal Return. You need to make your way to the right area and do a whole lot of looting to find the parts in which to craft what you need. That sounds quite simple, but can be pretty hard to get your head around at first, especially if playing PvP against people who already have their build paths memorized. Your targeted items are going to need quite a lot of components, sometimes 6 or 7, and getting good items is pretty essential to surviving fights. The style of loot, combined with the way the XP system works, makes Eternal Return one of the more grindy and snowballish games I've played within matches. That's not to say it is a negative, just something that can be really punishing for new players. You gain XP by doing just about anything, and one of my favourite mechanics in the game is the hunting system, which places wild animals around the map that you can defeat, to loot, and to build your experience. Get ready to murder lots of chickens. Moving, looting, fighting, and hunting all give you experience, and trying to level up, which opens up new abilities, as quickly as possible is essential in order to make it to the end game. It can be quite humorous that early in matches you quite often see an enemy and just nope out away from each other to loot and avoid the fighting. Of course, every now and then you will find a Chad who wants to have an epic level 1 duel with you, just like this guy. Fighting follows your standard MOBA system of abilities being placed along your QWERTY line, and a range of melee and ranged attacks, as well as characters that use magic or projectiles to do their damage. I really like the variety of character design, although I'm finding it hard to tell when an enemy is far ahead or not on the first glance, which can cause a lot of very one-sided fights and then attempts at retreating or just accepting death. So far it looks quite easy to earn the right amount of currency to unlock champions to use, and there are some that you can use on free rotation, so you don't feel too limited by the amount of characters that you can play as when starting out. Unfortunately, I am playing on the Seoul-based server, since there is no Australian or Oceanic server to play on, which means I'm at 180 ms of ping, which is not fun at all. Sucks to be Australian, I guess. I have gotten a taste of lower ping in the AI matches, and fighting is fun, although very explosive and quick encounters will be the main theme. In classic Battle Royale style, prepare to loot for 15 minutes, then get destroyed by the Chad, killing everyone and being very much well ahead. This brings me to my biggest gripe on the game, and that's the brutal introduction and learning curve for new players, most largely due to the fact that knowing where to go and what to build is complicated, and any time spent working it out is going to put you behind in terms of experience. Eternal Return does have a system which allows you to know which items will be useful for you, but due to the limited size of your bag, you're going to end up with a lot of half components and not a lot of full build items. When you do stop to look for an item, it will be shown on the map in terms of which areas that it is available, which is handy. Although while you're doing this, other players are looting, hunting, and gaining level advantage against you very quickly. It is not much fun fighting players 3 levels above you who have completed items. I feel like there could be a simpler system for new players to make sure they're not being penalized too harshly for their lack of knowledge, but at this point I'd recommend trying out a few characters and then sticking with the one you like so that you know exactly what you need and where to go for the first 3 or 4 main items of your build. In this way, Eternal Return does have a very much repetitive feel to the games as you are going from the same spot to the next spot in each encounter. I feel like Eternal Return is going to be one of those games in which some people will just say, stuff this and move on quickly, especially if they've already invested all the time in learning items and build parts of other MOBAs. I feel like there's enough there to keep playing though, and I'm enjoying the general feeling of the game, the looting system, the hunting, even though I've had very little success in terms of getting many kills. I do feel that 18 players is too little to have for a squad-based system, but solo and duo games work well enough. Let me know your thoughts on Eternal Return in the comments below, and be an absolute Chad and subscribe to the channel.